So we're still at SITS 18. I'm delighted to be talking to David Wheable from Forrester. Welcome.
Thank you.
You guys are out there doing research and consulting and all these things with a lot of organisations. I mean, there's a huge amount of hype and things going on at the moment with digital and so many things. What are the kind of key things that you're finding that people are actually doing, David?
Okay, well, so with the focus on digital now, it's really taken IT from being a back office function, a sort of a cost center, to now a core part of the business. So the attitude is changing now to about how really can organizations exploit technology to get business advantage. So really driving that into the IT organization, how IT is run, it's a big change going on. The whole perception of how IT is run, from cost optimization now, is about the value, the business value it can deliver, and the challenges that then obviously brings from a real swap in focus to that core business capability.
So where are you finding that that's being driven from? Because this challenge always for me is just who's pushing. Is IT pushing digital? Are businesses pushing digital? Are they both pushing at the same time?
They're both pushing at the same time, really, but I wouldn't still say they're meeting in the middle, which is, if they were, it would be good. So we're seeing the senior execs recognize that digital is important. They recognize they actually have to understand how to use technology to engage and serve their customers. However, a lot of them don't believe they have the capabilities to do that. So the challenge comes is they want to do it, but don't know how to do it. Equally, IT wants to be able to seen as the sort of catalyst for change and help the business, but they're not talking business language, so they're talking technology language. So still there's that mismatch. And interestingly, over the past few months, I've had a change. In the past, I quite often had IT departments ask, how do we talk to the business? I've actually had business groups come to me now and say, how do we talk to IT? So it's interesting, the pressure's coming from both sides, but not quite meeting in the middle yet.
And that idea that it's coming from both sides, I mean, the whole thing of the business executive, there's no excuse for them not to understand or value IT and, in the way that they might in the past just going, we'll put that under finance and forget about it. Where are they getting their knowledge? Does that come from people like are you able to engage with the business people as much as you in the past you might have been source of knowledge for the IT people?
Yeah, very much so. So what we're seeing now is much more continuity in approaches. So if you take sort of from the IT side, the trend to do DevOps as a sort of development method to deliver value and services more quickly, what we're seeing on the business side is the embracing of design thinking as a way to understand how to serve customers and employees with the capability. Now, if you look at the two practices, they really align and work together. So we're seeing a breakdown in some of the barriers and the whole agile mindset being applied to the business as well. So when we're talking to that sort of knowledge is really coming from both sides. So we take customer experience and digital business and marketing and strategy pieces, but equally we're talking to both sides of the business then are really about how technology. Interestingly, 2 weeks ago I was doing a presentation at an event. It was on emerging technology, and when we asked the room, are you business or IT? We actually had a 50-50 split. It was 50% business and 50% IT. So their interest in understanding how to do it really is going across both sides of the organisation.
I mean, a lot of that is obviously, it's just time and generation and so on, isn't it? That there's more people who are, I hate the term digital natives, but they've come through that.
Yes.
And so they are more comfortable and used to just dealing with it in it.
Yeah, and it's expectations. I sort of half joke, but it's sort of one of those truths, is if you look back sort of 10 years, the typical digital experience you had as an employee was superior to your consumer digital experience. But what we've had in the last 10 years is that's really swapped over, and now your consumer digital experience is superior to the work digital experience. So the expectations and knowledge and just of everyone, not just digital natives, is significantly different now. So how their expectation of what technology can do and how to use it, they expect to have the similar things at work.
So just finally, what would you expect? What do you want to see? Our industry here is quite self-contained, and there's lots of things that we talk about endlessly. What change would you like to see in the coming year or two? I mean, is there anything that you want to see happen that's not happening at the moment?
I think it really comes down to two things. So I still see a huge amount of operational focus, keeping the lights on, keeping things running. We've got to start improving our strategic capability. So understand how we can work with the business to exploit emerging technology, but do it in a systematic way rather than just sort of a ad hoc way. So much more formalized in the strategy processes. But the other side of it is equally, understanding that technology is part of the business now. It's not a separate, it's not a cost center. And actually realizing that IT particularly has a valid voice in the business strategy, not just the technology strategy, and therefore pushing into that area and developing the technology strategy as a core fundamental part of the business.
And that definitely does seem to be happening more. Absolutely. Fascinating stuff, David. Thank you very much.
Thank you.